guys, and welcome to my very first YouTube video. My name is britneytermale and I am so excited to get started on this journey with you guys. I have had the pleasure of working in the beauty industry for a few years now and have absolutely fallen in love with all things skincare, makeup, just beauty in general. And what I really love doing is helping women just see how fun and easy makeup can be, some tips and tricks along the way just to help us all feel more beautiful in the skin we're in. This is the look we're doing today. This is definitely my signature look. This is kind of a soft, smoky, sparkly eye. So if you want to know about my ride or die products, things I've used for over 10 years, then keep watching. To start, we're going to use the Becca First Light Priming Filter. I just use one pump. It's more than enough. It feels so light. I have more oily skin, so it's light enough for me. It honestly feels a little bit cooling and gives you this really pretty glow to your skin. And then I like to do things a little bit different than some people. I'm going to actually go in with my foundation next. And today we're going to use the Double Wear 24-Hour Foundation. For those of you who know me, this is my absolute fave, and I am in the color Tawny. And then with a more dense stippling brush, I'm going to go in and pat this in. I like a more full coverage look, so I tend to stipple my foundation into place. Some great things about this foundation, other than the outrageous 24-hour wear that it is. If you're oily like me, it will keep you matte all day long. If today's video is my signature look, this is definitely my holy grail foundation. And then I just always take whatever's left on my brush and make sure to go around the edges, just making sure that everything is really nicely blended. Another tried and true favorite of mine, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I've been using this product for over 10 years, and that is my Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. Now the color I haven't used for 10 years, the color hasn't been out for 10 years, but this primer potion's amazing, and I am a huge fan of Eden. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of Eden on my eyelids. And then with my ring finger, I'm just going to gently blend this product from lashes to brow bone and everywhere in between. You always want to use your ring finger whenever working with the eyes, at least whenever possible, so you don't do any unnecessary harsh tugging on the eyes. Okay, so for today's eyeshadow look, I'm going to go with probably one of the best palettes I have ever owned, and that is the Jaclyn Hill palette. I would say that my first brow bone highlight would be this top corner color, but as you can see, I have hit pan on almost just so many shades in here. So when I say it is one of my favorites of all time, I'm not kidding. So for my brow bone highlight shade, I'm actually going to use Porcelain from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This is actually the Glimmering Eye Shade and Light palette. And I'm just going to use a pretty large fluffy brush, and we're going to apply Porcelain all under the brow bone and in the front of the eye as well. Kind of in a patting motion. And then with a fluffy blending brush, we're going to go to this Jaclyn Hill palette, and we're going to start with this guy right here. You can tell he is a fave. He is beyond pan. And we're just going to start that as our first transition shade. And then with the next shade, we're going to darken up the crease a little bit with the shade Mocha. So just with a little bit of Mocha on that same fluffy blending brush, we're going to go ahead and darken that crease a little bit, going right over where we put that transition shade. I'm not worried about how messy it's getting as we are kind of blending it out. We're going to clean that up later. And then when that is all where you want it, I'm going to go in with a little bit of a more dense brush and in the shade 24/7. This is my 24/7 shade. It is so pretty. It's a really dark brown with the prettiest silver glitter in it. It honestly has like a wet eye look to it. so they kind of overlap and melt into each other a little better. And then with just that same fluffy brush, we're gonna go back over it and just blend it out a little bit more. So now to clean it all up, I'm going to take a wet, very wet beauty blender, and I'm going to take the Smashbox Studio Skin. This is their new 24-hour concealer, and I'm going to use the shade Light Neutral, and I'm pretty impressed. What I'm loving about it is that it is very lightweight. It has beautiful coverage, but it honestly feels like water when I brush it onto my skin. And I'm going to take this down my nose, Cupid's bow, chin, just kind of all your little highlighting places. I also love the applicator on this. It's just such a fat petal shape. It's not a doe foot. It's more of a petal shape, and it applies, as you can see, so much concealer, which I'm a fan of. I'm a concealer girl. But yeah, it just feels really hydrating, which usually 24 hours and hydrating don't go together. But it feels really lightweight, really hydrating, almost like a water consistency. But I'm getting beautiful coverage from it, and I'm obsessed. Press this into the skin, blend it out, clean up that eyeshadow line. So now we're gonna set it, and I am going to use the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. I just tapped a little bit of that in the lid. And we're gonna pat it into place. I like to set my under eyes as soon as I put my concealer on. That way they don't have a second to kind of crease or move around on us before we get to setting it. I also really like setting my under eyes with a smaller brush like this. And I'm not just gonna set my under eyes with it, but I'm also gonna go over each place that we put the concealer to brighten, especially like around the nose. I like to use this little brush to go around my nose because I feel like it gets that powder in. And then for the rest of my face, I'm gonna use a larger fluffy brush, and I am a full coverage queen. So I'm gonna go in with a full coverage foundation powder, and this is the BareMinerals Bare Pro Powder, and I am in the shade Warm Neutral. And so I'm just gonna actually really lightly, I'm not gonna be heavy-handed with this, just do a light dusting over my whole face. Now back to my eyes. Now that we've kind of cleaned everything up with our concealer and powder, I'm gonna go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette to MOCHA, which was that darker chocolatey shade. And this brush is just one of my can't live withouts. When I found this brush, it was amazing because I've used so many other things for this, and this one just works perfectly. This is the Morphe E18. It is like a tiny fluffy crease brush, and I always smoke out the lower lash line. I feel like it kind of hides the little wrinkles that we get under our eyes, kind of masks them with some eyeshadow. And then before we are done with the eyes, I'm going to take what probably used to be a lip brush. I've had this so long, I don't know. And we're gonna go into the second shade here in the Jaclyn Hill palette, Beam. And we're gonna take a little bit of that on this teeny tiny brush, and we're gonna do an inner corner highlight, which is also probably something I'm very known for. Now I'm going to line the bottom of my eyes with the Maybelline, it's their Lasting Drama Gel Liner in Sleek Onyx. This thing is one of the best, if not the best, drugstore eyeliners I have ever tried. And then keeping with that whole smoky little theme we've got going, I'm going to take another cute little Morphe brush and kind of gently run it along the lash line, just to soften up that line a little bit. And then for our top wing liner, I'm actually going to go in with a brow brush. This is their Maybelline. It's the Eye Studio. It's a gel pot liner, and I think it's just in Blackest black. And then I'm going to drag this out into a little wing. And kind of fill in the bottom here a little bit. Then I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal, the Lash Paradise Base. So I love to use a lash primer on my bottom lashes. Only the bottom because we're going to throw some falsies on the top. But to help these little bottom lashes really pop, and while that dries, I'm going to go in with my Faced Mascara, everyone's fave, and go ahead and do my top lashes and let those bottoms dry. Now with a light coat over that lash primer. Now I'm going to go in with the brows. I am going to use my Kat Von D. It's their 24-hour Super Brow, and it is in the shade Medium Brown. Even though I usually have some jet black hair, I don't like my brows to look too harsh. And I also think that with a brow pomade, you can go in a little heavy-handed and be a little darker than you wanted. But I absolutely love this Kat Von D formula. So the way I like to do my brows is to start with the bottom line of my tail and then the top line and kind of fill from there. And of course, always going a little bit softer and very light-handed in the front of the brow here, and then keeping the concentration of the product more towards the back of our brow. Take a little bit of a brow spoolie and just softly, gently run that through. We don't want to take off too much product, but we also kind of just want to soften up anywhere where there might have been a little bit too heavy of product. Now I'm going to go in with a newfound fave, Highbrow by Benefit. This is awesome because I feel like after I brushed my brows a little bit to spread that product out a little more evenly, sometimes they can look a little bit dirty or like the product just kind of fluffed everywhere. So Highbrow is going to go in and clean it all up so easily. It really makes them pop. It makes them look nice and bright. I'm going to go on the top of both brows and then just that little bit like to the arch. But underneath, I'm going to fully line the brow. Now that I have my brows lined with this Highbrow, I'm going to take a tiny dense brush similar to like a concealer brush and just gently blend this out. Highbrow is also awesome because it really brightens under the brow and gives you that brow bone pop that we're all looking to get. Ta-da! Now last but not least for the brows, we're going to go in with the Benefit. This is their 24-hour brow setter. It's just a clear brow gel, but it works wonders. If you're like me and you feel like your brows aren't always like super even or they don't sit exactly as you like them to, this is a game changer. Because once you brush this through, they literally do not move. I'm going to go back in with my eyeliner and darken up this inner rim of the eye here. Love it. So now to give the face some color, I'm going to go in with a fluffier brush because I don't like a very harsh contour. I love contour, but I like it to be a little bit softer. So I'm going to go in with the Nars Laguna bronzer and a fluffier contouring brush and just start to chisel out the face a little bit. For me, I like to think of a number 3. So we're going to make that little number 3 through our temples, right under that cheekbone and along the jawline. I'm going to go a little bit around my jawline. And I'm going to use a smaller fluffy brush for around my nose. I also sometimes like to bring that bronzer up and kind of make it meet the brow bone. I usually take a fluffy brush and just kind of buff out what I do on my nose just in case. And now for blush, I'm gonna go in with the MAC Mineralize blush and the color Warm Soul. This is a beautiful soft shade and I'm a fan of blush. But with a bold eye like this, I didn't want to do too much. And Warm Soul is gorgeous. And then my other little thing is I like to just take a teeny bit and go across the top of my nose. Because I feel like if you're getting sun-kissed, when you get a really good tan at the beach, you don't just get the blush or the redness from the sun in your cheeks, you kind of get a little across your nose too. And I think that just warms up the whole face a little bit. Now for highlighter, I'm going to go in with my Tarte Pro Glow palette. And I'm going to be using this guy right here, Stunner. They smell so good. I also like to take my highlight kind of in a C around the eye. Ooh. And then I'm just going to use my pinky and go across my Cupid's bow. This literally might be my favorite place to put highlighter. And then of course just a little down the nose. I'm Italian, so I'm not really into too much of a nose highlight. Okay, now that we are glowing, let's go ahead and pop on them lashes. My absolute favorite lashes, these are just like my everyday almost. They're a little too glam for every day, but these are my go-to, and these are the WSPIES by ARDELL. These are the ones that say customized by a makeup artist. They're just extra fluffy on the ends. I have never put lashes on camera, so bear with me. That little bit of extra fluffiness on the ends just make your eyes look snatched. I just kind of like to pinch them together a little bit so they kind of just meet and marry. And for the lips, I'm gonna go in with a nude lip liner. This is my Double Wear Stay in Place lip liner, and it is in the color Nude. And then I'm gonna go over this with the Estee Lauder Insatiable Ivory lipstick. It is such a pretty, like pinky nude, every girl's dream, right? And then if I wanna be really extra, I might just pop on a little bit of gloss just kind of in the center. This is the Dose of Colors Over the Top by Desi Perkins and Luster Luxe Katie, and their whole collection is so pretty. It makes them look nice and full. So here is the final look. I hope you guys love this look as much as I do. It's definitely my go-to look, whether it is a party, an event, something work related. You'll probably see me rock this look pretty often in pictures. If you liked it, please make sure to like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I'm new here and I would so appreciate the love. And if you are a YouTuber fanatic, some of my besties are, you know who you are, then please leave me a little comment below and let me know what you would like to see from me. Whether it's more tutorials, Q&A, some product reviews, just let me know in the comments below. I'm so excited to chat with you guys there. So on that note, I'll see you later.